fights redness, odor, and relieves itch. Keeps you feeling fresh, cool, and clean. Gold Bond. Respect the sweat.
1920 WE.
Tri-City Sports Now. You got me, Marky Bilson, with you here. And as I've been railing against, I don't like draft lotteries. I actually think that they lead to more conspiracy. You mean that teams were tanking and all this before they were throwing games? You got that element now into your sport when you introduce a draft lottery. And I've often said, I mentioned, kid from Pittsburgh, I'm going to tell the story here. It's long been said there have been documentaries done in Canada about when the Pittsburgh Penguins, and one of the things that they talk about was the Penguins brought up for the late in the year a goalie by the name of Vincent Tremblay, who was in AAA. He had played previously with the Toronto Maple Leafs, by the way, but he really wasn't, thought to be that good of a goalie. Well, he comes in and he plays 4 games and he has a goals against average of 6, which is atrocious, by the way, if you didn't know. And the Penguins goal, I actually know that the Penguins act is, it's like September baseball. You have your call-ups. You see what the guys can do. All right, Tremblay was not going to be the goalie of the Penguins moving forward. But don't you, when your season is going nowhere, and I mean, might as well, it's not like Ernie great shakes, you might as well see what he can do here in the NHL against that sort of competition for us. And, if he finds he can stand on his head or he can anticipate the defense, we might as well bring him up. Who said that Tremblay would anticipate a shot with his glove hand closed. Think about that. Okay, that's like a baseball catcher keeping his glove closed as the ball comes in, not open. That was what it was said. Now, how this guy signed and made it to the AH so long, why don't we call him up, see what he can do? Come on, what do we got to lose? We're not going anywhere anyway. That was the old. So I've never been big on the tanking. I mean, I'm just, it doesn't outrage me. And I mentioned the hockey things and all that. But again, hey, look, I mean, the starters we got right now here aren't doing. Maybe we ought to try that 8th guy on the bench in the lineup here once. Seemed to look good at practice the other day. We're 10-50 comes about. And, it leads to even more conspiracy theories. And to tell you the truth, although the writer that begins this likes to start it off with this, and I think this is a regrettable lead because the world is flat. We never landed on the moon. Avril Lavigne died in 2003 and was replaced with a clone. Now, first of all, I want to just say I am in favor of cloning Avril Lavigne. Okay, this, even if she was, she has a tendency to get Patrick Ewing back in a day. So anyway, the tour comes up with 7 NBA lottery conspiracies. The first one being, David Stern rigged the 85 lottery so that the Knicks could get Patrick Ewing. So, Warriors and Pacers had worse records. The lottery wasn't weighted. They actually changed it to a weighted lottery because of all the controversy of the Knicks getting Pat Ewing. For the NBA, change is good. So they'll double down, and this is what I hate. Now it's like baseball. They've made so many gimmicky changes. And they don't come out and say, all right, the pace of our game is dragging, and it really drags in the American League with the DH. Well, why don't we get rid of the DH? We'll limit the amount of time the pitching coach can come out to talk to the pitcher. We'll now destroy strategy and make sure that a pitcher must throw to 3 batters. We'll do everything in the world except address the problems that are making the games go longer. This person is obese. Do we change their diet and exercise? Well, a little bit. We're not the whipped cream off the milkshake. That's what baseball does for a change. NBA, kind of the same thing, I think, with the draft lottery. And, of course, then Gary Bettman comes to the NBA, goes to the NHL, and they get a draft lottery and all this. Okay, another theories here. Stern makes up for trading Chris Paul in 2002. The idea in this case was that Paul, who was dealt away by the New Orleans, then called the Hornets, thanks to Paul, sold the team. The league owned Hornets. They sold it to the team, decided to trade Paul after the Star demanded a trade out of New Orleans and put the team over a barrel. Initial deal to the Lakers was vetoed by Stern, citing it wasn't in the team's best interest. All right. Hornets got back a couple of second-round picks. Who cares? Let's see here. The Timberwolves, unprotected first-rounder, Eric, the Hornets. Benson needed to make good superstar, so hey, draft lottery, Hornets get the choice. Other ideas are Dikembe Mutombo knows best. The idea being that Dikembe Mutombo's actions prior to the 2016 NBA draft lottery, stunning proof of the conspiracy. Sixers had the best chance of landing him, but at this point we'd seen time and time that luck means nothing when it comes to landing the pick. I'm reading almost directly here. Sixers had a 25% chance, came after the Cavaliers somehow jumped the worst teams in the league. And anyway, one guy knew, and guess what? Mutombo comes to the Sixers. The Cavaliers, incredible luck. 13 and 14, the Cavs unpredictably landed the number one pick in the draft. Over this time, they never had the worst record in the league. And then LeBron comes back. Nothing fishy there. Lonzo Ball is a lifeline for the Lakers. Now, maybe he isn't a grand prize rig in the lottery over, but this isn't the story. The key players of this was Luke Walton and, of course, Magic Johnson, both who predicted their top accuracy. Remember, Mutombo predicts the Sixers. Oh, lo and behold. Classic case of saying the quiet part out loud. Walton appeared on CBS Sports We Need to Talk. And I was like, yeah, Lakers, it's good for the league for the Lakers to win. By the way, I think that's hogwash. I mean, the New England Patriots used to be a very anonymous, mediocre franchise. It was pretty strong. The NFL got where it is. The Green Bay Packers, for crying out loud, becoming its first well-known TV era dynasty. You can talk about the Cleveland Browns before that, but you know where I'm going with this. Say, oh, you need a good Knicks team for the NBA. Knicks haven't won the NBA since 1973. The NBA is fine. What that is when they say a strong baseball needs a strong Yankees. You know who's saying that? Yankees fans. The Lakers get Ball. The Orlando Magic getting Shaq O'Neal. That was big. And the Bulls landing their hometown star in 2008, Derrick Rose. Were there conspiracies? To me, it doesn't necessarily sound like it was totally on the up and up. I was surprised. I thought the Carolina Hurricanes were going to win last night. I really did. I thought they were going to come back in a...
Out in the neutral zone. Line right side, Krejci, left circle, Marchand, pulls it to the slot, backhand, they score! Marchand with a backhand shot, a power play goal, 2-0 Bruins.
Yeah, I thought that the power play was I thought that it was going to be the Bruins who were going to have to kill power plays. It turned out that it was the Hurricanes. So, I'll just give you this here. Anyway, we talked a little bit about this before. Fred Toettcher, he's a sports talk show host up in Boston. And this, or even that, and such, it's that hockey's not so hidden disrespect for the new fans in the South. You've got to be able to expand. I will say this. The Carolina Hurricanes could do a better job developing their sport in North Carolina. North Carolina, one of the 10 most populated states and one of the worst hockey states in terms of development. They just don't have an amateur system down there, and that's not in the help of the Hurricanes. But still, calling Raleigh, did this sports talk show host, not the South, You are a mound of excrement I have to fly through to get to Knoxville. What do you think about that?
Esports